Hi, EduMatch family. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special episode. So please like, subscribe, and join our community and find us on edumatch.org to find out more about what's going on in the educational space. But without any delay, I want to introduce our very special guest. We have candidate Crews here, who is a candidate for U.S. Senate in Maryland. How are you doing today, candidate Crews?
Oh, I am doing well, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, fantastic. We are so happy to have you. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with our audience today. And for anyone who's tuning in at home, then feel free to drop a comment, say hello. All right. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, Candidate Cruz, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what drives your focus on education, innovation, and service, as well as about your plan?
Okay, that's a packed question. All right, I'm gonna start here, and then you jump in where you need to jump in. Um, Up until grade 4, I was a D and F student, and it was my mom who came to my fourth grade teacher, Miss Paraway, and talked to her. And I'll never forget Miss Paraway sitting me down and just kind of asked me the things that I liked. And Miss Paraway got me into plays and the choir, and I got into oratorical contests. And I realized I can, I wasn't that scary, wary little kid anymore. And I began to make A's. And I became outgoing. And my point here is mental health is important, development and education. And from there, I wanted to give back because I didn't grow up poor. I went to private schools all my life, so I wanted to give back. And so, youth leader, going around the world, building churches and homes, but taking young people with me. And man, that was beautiful. Coming back here in the States, we did the same thing, but we also did walkathons and we raised money for the homeless, 6.6 million. And then we did bone marrow drives where we found two matches. Come on now, in the Black community, we found two matches. And so when I started my company, I wanted to continue giving back. And so we've been spreading Wi-Fi across Maryland in homes and businesses. So I've met a lot of people, and I'm also a state vendor. I'm in embassies and I'm in schools. And so with that kind of backdrop and background, it's almost like I've already gotten my advisory board. I've been with people. So running for the U.S. Senate is simple for me because I understand the issues. I understand what we're going through and what we need to do. I have a robust plan for that. So that's a little bit about my background and what I do. Now, do you want me to just go straight into what I want to do in the U.S. Senate?
Please just let us let
Okay.
us know. But before you do that, real quick, I just want to share a comment that came through. Someone said that we need more support for education. This is so cool. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you to
Yes.
the Facebook user for saying that. But yes, please go ahead and share your plan with us.
Okay, so before I share the plan, I'm going to tell you why my plan is the way it is. Did you know that the states with the highest dropouts have the most crime? Did you know that most inmates, 75%, are dropouts? What does that tell us? That tells us that the door for crime, poverty, welfare goes through dropout door. And that's where we start. So you can't fix those without education. I was, I did some math the other day and I looked at Maryland's dropout rate. We're at 8.5%. That was last year. That's about 10,000 young people that dropped out. I did the math. If they were in the program that I'm about to push, that I'm about to say, we are missing in pay close to $1 billion. And that's the low road of it. So what is my plan? My plan is right now in education, we have college career readiness standard. That's what we all go through. I would like to add another pathway. Okay, I would like to enhance our curriculum. K through 12, STEM, certifications, financial literacy, life skill courses. And by grade 6, junior high, allow those young people to start getting certifications and do apprenticeships. Okay. Why am I talking like this? Because we're waiting way too late to get these young people stimulated and realize that education does matter. They have lost hope in our schools. And not everybody learn the same way. So that's why I want to create a second pathway. Everybody can stay on that first pathway if you want. But that second pathway, now you're able to get a certification now. Now wait. And you're able to do apprenticeships. That's the after school program. That is the over the summer program. By doing this, now watch this. By the time that young person gets into high school, they would have a few more certifications. They now would be matriculating through companies, and some of them will start having part-time jobs. Okay. Companies are watching them now because I want to bring small business the same way we do in sports to education. So now businesses are watching them and they're, helping them as they matriculate. By the time they graduate, you got experience. You've been working with companies. You may even already have a part-time job now about to be asked for, to be given a full-time job. And guess what? The jobs that you're working are higher paid wage jobs anyway. So now you get to decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to head on to college or do I want to matriculate further into what I'm doing? It could be HVAC. It could be in the engineer area, could be dental hygienist. What I'm trying to say is when I say certifications, I'm talking about a wide, broad spectrum. Why? Because we have a deficit in this country. Every year, we're behind the eight ball in every sector. Okay. Nursing. Okay. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a backlog in nursing. Think about if a kid can get their CNA earlier and can shadow a nurse and begin to see if this is where they want to go. By the time they get in high school, you got young people ahead of the curve, ready to become nurses sooner, quicker, and faster. Now, small businesses grow faster and quicker. Why? Because now they have that workforce that they've been dying for. Unions, same deal. This changes our economy. This also brings more money into our treasury, bringing down student loans, more money, and that means taxes should be able to come down, right? If you got more people into the process, that also means crime comes down. And I heard one of my opponents say, I brought down crime. The first question I always ask is, how did you bring down crime? Did we just lock up everybody? Because that's what usually happens. We go out, we lock up everybody, and then guess what? Our chickens come home to roost because at some point they're leaving those jails, they're leaving those prisons. So my educational piece not only is K through 12, is for adults, getting people off welfare, and it also moves into our correctional facilities. It is time to bring back true rehabilitation and job placement for them when they get out. That to me is a robust economy that has sustainability. The country that educates the best outperforms everyone. And so that's where I want to take it. Now, why would I talk about this as I'm running for the US Senate? Shouldn't I be talking about the border? Shouldn't I be talking about, women's rights and all these other things? Listen, I believe in a woman's right to choose. I believe families should decide on their own IVF. I believe in the environment and, we need to protect it. I believe in all of those things. I believe that we should have a border, but I also believe in immigration. Okay, we're all immigrants. But my point here is I'm running for an office that is high up. And the president of the United States, I'll never forget, the other night in the State of the Union, brought this up. How do we get our young people? Not everybody's going to college. He brought it up. It's a national issue because crime is high. You can't fix crime without some robust program. And opposed to us having all these bunch of these programs, why don't we just go and fix the root of the cause? And now we can spend less money on a bunch of programs and more money on the things that we want. Teachers getting paid more. Okay, things that we want. Now you can raise minimum wage. Companies are now doing well. Now we can talk about some of the changes that we want in immigration because now everybody's focus is in the right place. So my vision is to affect small businesses, unions, is to affect crime, communities. It is to affect poverty-stricken areas. Think about that young person who now can get that certification and companies are following them. Their family is now excited because now that young person has a way out and they're making money as they're doing the way out. That's why I want a second pathway to success. And I call it the PP standard, prepared professional. All right. So there you go.
Yeah, wow. That was wow. I I heard so many gems in that. So thank you so much, Canada
Mhm.
Cruz.
Mhm.
There was a comment that came through as well that someone said, this is so important also for the disability community. The best indicator of paid work as an adult is paid work while in school. These transition pathways are so important for everyone. So thank you so much. Seeing some love in the comments,
Okay.
some
Okay.
hearts, some likes. So appreciate you going through that with us. Want to
Mhm.
give a huge shout out to our mutual friend who connected us. So
Yes.
Kenan Cooley,
Yeah.
bumped into her randomly one day, and I told her what I was up to in life, and she's just like, you need to meet my friend Canada Cruz, who has this who's working really hard for education as well,
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
well as uh other amazing ideas. So thank you so
Mhm.
much, Kenan, for this introduction. So just kind of bringing it back to education, even though you have been on the topic of education.
Mhm.
One thing that Kenan and I were chatting about was AI, and she said that
Okay.
you had some great ideas
Mhm.
around artificial intelligence, which,
Mhm.
as people who are regular viewers or listeners to the show, they know that that topic is very dear and near to us here at EduMatch. So we're going to
Mhm.
dive in a little bit about artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So, what would be to you the key ethical considerations of AI in education, and how can we help make AI accessible to all of our students?
Okay, that's a packed question. Hopefully okay. Let me see. Let me break it apart here. Um, Ethical. You said ethical. So AI is here, and I believe that AI is going to take away some jobs in some sectors, but it's also going to add some jobs. All right, and if we do it right, the jobs that it took away will replace with the jobs that we created. Ethically, when it comes to consumer protections, you don't want someone with your likeness doing something that you're not about, right? And that's where AI is most effective. So before I get into AI, let me just kind of explain. When I'm on the trail and people ask me, what is technology? What is AI? I always like to start here because fundamentals are important. Technology and AI, all it is moving data quicker and faster and manipulating it to what we want to see or hear. Okay, that's all technology is. So a lot of people scared about it, but that's all it is. And so what AI is doing is what we had to do before. So before we used to take out our calculators, right? That was our first AI. And we punch in 2 plus 2 equals 4. Ooh, they showed us how much what that added up to be. And then we started getting more complicated, right? We wanted to type out our message or our report versus handwriting. And then it started getting more complicated. Okay, I want to go on a trip. And so, versus pulling out a map, let me just type in the address and voila, boom, I'm where I need to be. Well, AI goes beyond that because now you can talk to it. You can just say, hey, this is what I want to do. And it goes through all these complex mathematics and it's looking at all this information and it brings it back to you quick and fast. Chat GPT, that's what it does. Hey, what do you want from me? I want you to write me a movie script. Okay, what's the movie script about? And you tell it, you give it all this stuff, and then boom, 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 and it's there. Now, in education, what we have to do is make sure that we're not plagiarizing. That's the ethical parts of it. And we have to give the credit where it's due. But those who learn how to use ChatGPT and create a script, but then go in it and edit it and make it unique are going to be those with a job when it comes to script writing. Okay? So if you're keeping your young people away from that, you're keeping them away from future jobs. And this is what I tell educators. You got to lean into AI. It is the new internet. Okay? That's how you have to look at it. The internet got rid of what we call regular libraries. Now we have media centers. Why? Because this is my library. My phone can look up any and everything, like I used to do in a library, right? I can download books. My point here is AI now, we're on that cusp where a lot of people are learning it, and you do not want to hold your young people back from learning it. You want to let them lean into it. And we all will find where that red line is. Because right now I could talk about, making sure that our likenesses are not used. It's not disseminating our data to other people and other companies, without our knowledge. We can get into a lot of consumer protections, but there's a lot of things we just don't know until we get into them, and then we start realizing, okay, in education, this is where we need to watch that red line, but we got to get into it. And this is what I tell educators: you got to get into it. Now, I think we talked about the efficacy. What was the other question? Part of that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So how to make AI accessible to all students, and you kind of touched on this, but I would love to hear if you have like any other thoughts on that.
Nowadays, I know with us being in schools, we have pushed for tablets, we push for devices for young people to have. And so that device, and this is why we push Wi Fi. I believe Wi Fi should be everywhere. Just like we have street lights, we should have Wi Fi everywhere. That's the age that we're in now. And so I believe that every young person should, and while they're scholastically moving through, matriculating through school, should have a device that they can, do their work on and manipulate and push it to the limits and have access to, AI. Now, obviously, you want to educate and move them smoothly through it. Not every educator gets it and understand it. And so this is why I push certain curriculums, okay? Because certain curriculums will help educators move through it smoothly. My platform, where I'm talking about bringing in small businesses, right, apprenticeships, and doing certifications, it kind of gets into, not kind of, it gets into this because every field has technology in it now. So if you were somebody like me who went into technology and it was just over here when it first started, just computers and this kind of thing, now it has branched out into HVAC. Cats who go to HVAC, they have to know technology because nobody is running to a thermostat anymore or a boiler. They're on their phone. They're controlling whole buildings. I'm controlling my house on my phone or my AIs that are around my home. And so my point is, from HVAC to engineering to dental hygienist to all of the different certifications you could get, even in hair, okay, there's technology. And it's going to get worse. Some people are going to want to see their own face with the new hairstyle before you cut it. You know, and the barbershops that head down that road where you come in and it's HGTV for your hair, especially with women, their hairstyles. Oh, women, men and women will be talking to their brothers and sisters. Hey, you need to go to such and such. They're on a whole nother level. And this is how we lean into it. This is what I mean by new jobs and new ways of doing things. And that's just hair that I'm talking about. Nails, the same thing. People want to see the what you're trying to do before it even happens. And that's kind of where we're headed. And so I believe every kid should have accessibility to Wi-Fi and technology as well as AI. Obviously, under some, some kids need, to go through the process and not just be willy-nilly it. So I know educators always said, and so I'm always open to, guiding young people as they go.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And that kind of mirrors some of my philosophy as well. Like, one of the best things I think that we can do as educators is to be prepared ourselves in order to help our young folks navigate through this space. One thing that you said that I really, really loved, because I hear it quite a bit doing professional development, when it comes to artificial intelligence. There is a big fear that, okay, AI is coming, AI is going to take our jobs. One thing that you said that I really want to drill down into and just highlight, is that AI is not going to take the job, but the person who knows how to leverage AI will be doing that job. So that, yeah, AI will be, there's
Let's drill into that. So, and this is where I'm gonna be careful because I don't want to get in anybody, but this is coming. So, let's say I show up and I know AI really well. I mean, when it comes to, and my background is communication, and I show up at your company and you've got 20 people working in communication, and I show up with AI. Well, I'm going to, after my presentation, oh, this is what we can do, and this is how we do it, and da, 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 da. They're gonna be looking at them other people going, well, what do I have you here for? this one guy, how many people do you need of these 20 to do? And so this is why I agree with what you're saying. Young people, adults need to lean into it and learn it. Because as you learn it, you might actually create more jobs. I mean, just to, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Let's say you wanted to do music videos without the artist. And let's say artists are like, you know what, if I don't have to do that music video and you do it and you just take in what you need from me and then y'all go off and make it, well, those are jobs. I might need 6, 7, 8 people to help me to do this and make it happen without the artist. But those are now new jobs. And now that artist, can spend their time doing other stuff versus I'm off. And this was just done. This was just done for an artist, And so my point here is there are things that if we allow our young people to learn different, have another pathway to success, they're going to get to these things a lot quicker and faster. My whole point is in the state of Maryland, we can build our own Silicon Valley. We can have young people creating jobs and adults guiding them and everybody making money. And we don't have to have these conversations about raising the minimum wage because we're creating already high wage jobs. That's my point. We spend a lot of time talking about minimum wage when there are, I don't know, 60% of jobs not being filled currently right now. Currently right now. So let's start getting our young people into those jobs and stop worrying about, trying to raise something that was never meant for a living, to be a living wage. It was always meant to be a transition for young people. Okay. But I'm trying to get young people, not even that'll probably be, you know, I'm trying to move us into a whole nother era in another
Mhm.
place. So I hope
Right.
people understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just kind of circling back to one thing that you said earlier that really really drives that home about how your plan addresses not just the young people who are currently in school, but also adults, training them up, training
Mhm.
in, re
Rehabilitating the incarcerated. Yes.
exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
So everybody coming up together. So I absolutely love that. Okay, so we're talking a lot about futuristic things right here. So this next question right here, it kind of ties in with that theme, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on how we can evolve our
Mm.
education system to prepare students for the future. And again, you've already touched on quite a bit of this, but I would love to hear any other thoughts that you may have.
I'm glad you asked that because I can now go in a little bit into the weeds. There is an organization called build.org. That's BUILD.org. And build.org has been doing the type of curriculum I'm talking about for the last 25 years. Okay. They've been preparing young people. They start in high school. So, after speaking with them, they're excited to see about us bringing this down to junior high, sixth grade. But their graduation rate is what I want to get into, is 96% with black and brown. Okay. And that's having that second pathway, right? That's what I'm talking about. Not everybody's going to go to college. And those who are going to go to college actually get more out of having that second pathway because now they get to experiment. They get to see, is this really where I want to go? you know? And so my wife got her CNA when she was 16. Okay. And she worked in that arena and she realized, I don't want to go into healthcare. you know, I made $20 an hour at 16, but I don't want to do that. But I can do that and have it pay for me to do something else, to go to, college and become communications director, that kind of thing. And so my point is build.org, that curriculum helps to shape minds. I like to look at it this way. And I'm gonna say this, and no teachers watching this, don't jump on me. The college career standard, readiness standard, to me, has always been this type of process. Somewhat lecturing, kids absorb it, and then they have to regurgitate it on a test. Okay, that's kind of how I've always seen that standard. Whereas the PP standard I'm talking about, kids are engaging the teacher now. They are leading out in the classroom. I'm not saying you can't do it in college career readiness standard. I'm saying that is what happens in the other pathway. The kids are leading out. Why? Because they're talking about where they want to go, what they want to do. They're talking about what they learned that day. They're expressing, you know, and regurgitating everything that they felt and saw. And they're seeing it in real time. Their practicum is in real time. I talked about me in the beginning. I was that scared kid making D's and F's in the corner, afraid. What did the teacher do? She got me to open up by being in a choir, with a group, by being in plays, by oratorical contests. By I learned that I can memorize really well. I wasn't great at spelling, but I can memorize really well. What did that do for me? It made me more excited about learning because now I'm learning stuff that I'm excited about. When a kid is learning something that they're excited about, they can read better. They can do math better. And I say that with the strength because I've seen it. This is not me just talking my feelings. This
Right.
is me
Right.
saying, I have seen a young person turn their grades around because now you have now introduced something that they can latch on to, and it
Mm,
makes sense to them now.
absolutely. And candidate Cruz, I have to say, you are preaching to the choir right now. Like, yeah, because so many members of the EduMatch community are truly some of the best educators I have had the
Mm,
pleasure of working alongside of, whether it is within the same four walls or outside. So
mm,
I can tell that a lot of our audience members are hoping to see more of what you're describing, more of our
mhm,
colleagues who are continuing to engage our students, and to teach authentically. I know that there's a lot of advocates in this group, and beyond, who really want to see that paradigm shift in education. So
mm.
yes, absolutely. But that authentic piece is definitely on point. Getting our students engaged and activated, and just seeing the great things that they can do
Yeah.
when we are all working together. Like not a
Mhm.
top down model, but a side by side, hand in hand model. So
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely,
Yes. And
absolutely.
and listen, there are a lot of great educators, and I believe teachers really want to bring change. And I believe that if some of us elected officials can help, you see what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. I want to be on this big platform. Why? Because I can help on the federal level, and as a senator, I can come down into the state level and help out. Why? Because this is my background. I believe it is time that a senator does more than just go to Congress. Okay? It is time to roll up your sleeves and get to work and help out wherever you can, and start connecting these dots. I'm not saying senators are not doing that right now. What I'm saying is I'm trying to show a different leadership style in this space and what we can accomplish. That's what I'm getting at. Because yes, a governor oversees the state, and a lot of some of the stuff I'm talking about, a governor can help push. But from the federal level, I can now help, push that. And from a federal level, we can bring to bear some of some of the roadblocks that we're seeing.
Yes, and that's exactly what we need. We need allies like you, people who will support our mission as educators, just to
Mhm.
to empower our students, and amplify their voices. Um
Mhm.
so absolutely. And we've been talking a lot about change, and embracing change. So, what do you see as the importance of embracing change in education and beyond?
Embracing change. Listen, technology changes every 6 months. Um, and I mean, and probably sometimes quicker than that. I'm not saying that we have to do wholesale change. What I'm saying is that we have to be mindful that the young people who are coming up today are coming up in a different time than I came up, even when you came up. They're going to be in a different job market. Okay. And so if we're trying to hold them back and teach them the way we were taught, we're doing them a disservice. A disservice. We need to realize that we have to embrace change. And like I said, Build.org is a turnkey curriculum. Okay. Anybody can get it, and anybody can see how turnkey it is and how straightforward it is in any situation. And so they've been churning this out. I would like to get our graduation rates up. In Maryland, we're at what, 86% graduation. But when you drill down, I believe Black and Brown is at 76.7%. That's not high enough. We've got to get all groups graduating at a high rate. Even with the second path, I think kids with the second path will graduate. They'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? But I'm ready to stay in it. The dream will be back again. I believe that is where we want it to be, where people, while in school, they're dreaming. Right now, in some situations, in a lot of situations, they're not dreaming anymore. So we have to push the bar and change.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we absolutely want to thank you so much, candidate Cruz. We appreciate you being here and dropping all of these gems. So absolutely loved hearing from you, loved hearing about your plan and all of your great insight into the questions. So if folks want to connect with you and
Mm.
find out more and stay connected, then how can they do so?
Great question. MarcellusCrews.com. Real simple. You can go to MarcellusCrews.com. You can see my values. I have videos on just about all the topics that I've talked about. I'm gonna be putting more videos out. We're on YouTube, Marcellus Crews. Marcellus Crews on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube page and see a lot more videos that's not on the website. And then social media, Marcellus Crews. You can go and you can keep up with us, see what we're doing, see what we're talking about. My election is May 14th. That's the primary date of my election. I need to get through that primary so that a lot of what we're talking about can be realized. So, electmarcelluscrews.com is where people can donate. MarcellusCrews.com is where people can come and volunteer, can keep up with me, send me an email. My email is simple, mcrews@marcelluscrews.com. so my thing is, please, I need your help, I need your support, I need you to volunteer, donate, tell a friend, don't keep it to yourself. Tell people, hey, there's somebody out here who really wants to make a difference, and I do. I just got the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for service.
Well,
So
congratulations.
that well, thank you. That should tell you I'm all about serving, true service. What you see is what you get.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Candidate Cruz. It was a pleasure
Thank,
to have you on today.
thank you.
And thank you. And thank you to everyone for tuning in and participating. So, whether you're watching this live or you go back and you watch the video or you listen to the podcast, then we definitely want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and join our community. You can find us at edumatch.org. And you can also find us on Facebook with the group tag EduMatch Fam. So, tune in tomorrow. We are going to launch our latest book. So, a joint collaboration between Brienne Fennell, illustrated by Manuel Herrera, Cooper's Comics. So, that's going to launch tomorrow. And the video with the great Mandy will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So, wanted to thank everyone once again and hope that you all have a wonderful evening or whatever time it is when you hear this. All right, everyone, take it easy.
Have a good one.